The 18th order of the day is a motion on the need to dredge River Benue to curb perennial flooding, standing in the name of Honorable Sekab Zua Yoyom. Honorable Sekab is hereby invited to move the motion.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, for the privilege. Honorable colleagues, Sekab Zua Yoyom is my name, member representing Buruku Federal Constituency of Benue State. Mr. Speaker, honorable colleagues, here comes the rains again. Mr. Speaker, this afternoon, I rise to move a motion for the need to dredge River Benue to comb the perennial flooding. Mr. Speaker, the House notes that the River Benue is one of the two major rivers in Nigeria, a tributary into River Niger, stretching approximately 1,400 kilometers and a vital transportation route. Water resources for irrigation, drinking, and domestic use, supporting agriculture, fishing, and economic activities. The House also notes that NEMA conducted a disaster risk management analysis and advised ministries, departments, and agencies, MDAs, to take proactive steps to mitigate climate change and advise that water bodies across some states be desolated and dredged regularly to make them available for various purposes and conduct return monitoring to ensure that the rule code for reservoirs is upheld to. Mr. Speaker, the House further notes that the former Minister of Transportation informed the Senate Committee on Marine Transport in 2017 that the federal government has awarded a contract for the dredging of River Benue, but nothing has been done. Worried that the flood disrupted communities across Nigeria, with hundreds of villages and urban centers totally submerged. Over 2.4 million people were displaced. Over 600 fatalities recorded, and expansive hectares of farmland across the affected states were swept away. Similarly, Mr. Speaker, over 13 local governments, including Makudi and Buruku, were affected by floods emanating from the overflow of River Benue. Also aware that the worst hit are the agrarian communities hosting the major tributaries of Benue River that cuts across 7 of the 23 local governments in the state. 12 local government areas were totally submerged and over 82,000 people were affected. 50 people injured and 27 deaths. Farmlands worth billions were destroyed. Observe that the UN's International Organization for Migration, IOM, noted that floods as a result of heavy downfalls have displaced a lot of people, and already displaced living in IDPs camps are being displaced by floods. Worried that every year the Lado Dams in Cameroon is open to free excess water, which then flows through the River Benue, causing flooding in communities located along the river basin. And also the major roads from Makurdi to Boko, where whole houses on that road are totally submerged, as well as farming communities along the road, destroying houses and properties worth billions of naira. Mr. Speaker, the House worried that in 2022, the flooding of River caused an increase in the population of vulnerable snakes in the Duguri district, Arkari local government area of Bauchi State. A July 2013 report indicates that over 200 people in the district died of snake bites. The situation is similar in Benue State, where over 70 persons died, which warranted the Catholic Diocese of Makurdi, in partnership with the state government, former Governor Samuel Otom, to initiate a fund to treat victims of snake bites. Over 3,000 persons have been treated so far. The House concerned that if the River Benue is not dredged, the yearly flooding occurrence as a result of heavy downpours and the release of water from Lado Dam will continue to hit the communities around the river basin, hereby destroying farmlands as well as sucking the whole communities, and this will cause food and humanitarian crisis and also expose the people to risks of waterborne diseases. Mr. Speaker, honorable colleagues, the House resolved to: 1. Urge the Federal Ministry of Water Resources, Environment, Transportation, through the National Inland Waterways Authority, NIWA, Ecological Funds Office, and HYPADEC, to immediately dredge the river Benue. 2. Mandate the Committee on Emergency and Disaster Preparedness to liaise with NEMA and the Ministry of Humanitarian and Disaster Management to compensate and rehabilitate those affected by flooding. Lastly, Mr. Speaker, also the House also mandate the Committee on Water Resources, Inland Waterways, Transport, Ecological Fund, and Hydrological Services, HYPADEC, to liaise with the Ministry of Water Resources, Ministry of Environment, and Ministry of Transportation through the Inland Waterways Authority, NEWA, and HYPADEC to ensure compliance. Mr. Speaker, honorable colleagues, I so move.
He never mentioned the inclusion of the Committee on Climate Change. So my amendment will be on prayer number 3, which is to say also mandate the committees on water resources, inland waterways, transport, ecological fund, hydrological services, and climate change to liaise with the Ministry of Water Resources, Ministry of Environment, and Ministry of Transportation through the National Inland Waterways Authority. I so amend, Mr. Speaker. Thank you.
My name is Anamero Dekeri, representing the good people of Esako Federal Constituency. Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I rise this afternoon to support the amendment as ably moved by my colleague. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
So those in support of this amendment should say aye. Those against should say nay. The ayes have it. Any more amendments? So we put the question. Those in support of this motion as amended should say aye. Those against should say nay. The ayes have it. This motion is referred to the committees on water resources, inland waterways, ecological fund, hydrological development, and climate change for further legislative action. Of course, water resources is the lead committee, since they're all water related. Thank you.